So they punted it, and I was the first gunner down there. Get there, I tried to take a shot at the ball, missed it, but then had made the returner actually like run backwards. So he's trying to run backwards, and then the other gunner comes in and punches the ball out. I came and I was about to scoop it up, and it was like on the 2-yard line, scoop it up and run right in the end zone. And then I get tackled. I'm like trying to pick it up, so I just pushed the ball to the side, and then when our freshman picked it up, scored. So got his first touchdown of his career and got a first pick in the same game. So it's pretty cool for him.
When are we going to start adding the assist as a stat line in football? That's what I need, man.
You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. You know, I felt like Chris Paul.
Do you get a fumble recovery for that or no?
No, I didn't get no stats.
Nothing in the stat sheet, but everybody knows.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome to the next episode of the NIL show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Adam Cook here with Sean Ellaby and Tailon Leitzsey of Illinois football. We're really excited to have you. Tailon, this is your 5th year at Illinois, and you have an incredible story, an incredible background. Can't wait to dive in. So thanks for joining us today.
Appreciate y'all having me on.
So we always like to ask a fun question to kick it off. So, this is a little bit different. Most people we talk with are in the professional space, not current athletes. So a little bit of extra spiciness here for you. But number one question, in the NIL era, what is the dream restaurant that you would love to ink an NIL deal with?
Oh, that's a good one. Dream restaurant. I really like hibachi, so I'll have to go with like Benihana's or something.
Benihana's. That's 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, Benihana. So hey, Benihana, call us. We got some great people you can sign some deals with, man. That's awesome.
Hey, let me know. Let me know. 2 hours away.
What's your order at Benihana? What you get?
I get the steak, chicken, shrimp, hibachi, and then you got to get the yum yum sauce.
Of course. I love it. High protein.
That's just mandatory.
See, at Benihana, you get the food and you get the show, too. You need that volcano.
Always, with the little guy that like piss him on, with the oil.
Yeah.
Benihana awesome. Coming in hot. I love it. Well, Tailon, you've got an incredible, like I said, an incredible background. You actually have your own merchandise and clothing line called Rise. I mean, let's just start right there. Tell us a little bit about Rise, how that got started. Let's just get into it.
First off, I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to talk about it because a lot of people don't know about it yet. So Rise it stands for Rise in Silence Every Day. And what it reflects is actually my story. And it was really started as my first really step into entrepreneurship as I was taking this journey to also become a walk-on at the University of Illinois. A lot of things in my life at that time were uncertain. I was working 2 jobs, training 4 hours a day. And in the process of all of this, I started a clothing brand, and actually by the end of the summer, right before I left, I had quit my second job, which was working as a dishwasher, because I was making more money selling T-shirts out the back of my truck, than I was working 2 weeks as a dishwasher. And it was really just, everybody knew the journey that I was on, so it was easy to sell. It was literally me just telling my story, and people bought into the brand. It's a story of somebody that never quits, and no matter what the obstacles are, they keep going. And it's not really a lot of talk that goes into it. It's really just I'm gonna put my head down and go to work, and make it happen. So I'm really allowing my actions to speak for themselves, allowing my faith and my work to show for itself, and that's what the brand was built to represent, So now that NIL is here, I have an opportunity to really capitalize on it. I've been, working hard over the last 5 years. Prior to NIL, I actually had to take my name off all the paperwork, had to take all the pictures off my website. So that was really hard. It was how do I tell my story without telling my story, And that was really hard to try to figure out, because before it's just me, all I had to do was say, I'm on this journey, and I tell the story of the journey that I was on, and people were like, I'm buying into this. But now I had to, over the last 5 years, I've had to learn how to tell the story without me, and still evoke the same emotion that people got when they listen to me talk, and that's the journey I've been on. So it's awesome.
That's it's tough to do when you are the story. right? You're like, how am I supposed to tell this without being a part of it? How did that, I'm just curious on the like logistics of that. How did that conversation start to come about where like, did somebody approach you and say, hey man, like you can't do this anymore? How did that happen?
Essentially, when I made the team, they had a meeting with all the people that made the team and all the first year players. And they were like, if you have a business that you currently own or are a part of a business in terms of like ownership status wise, let us know now. So like, obviously, raise my hand, all right, come talk to us after. So go to talk to them. They're like, yeah, so because you're part of the NCAA now, because before I was part of NAIA, I didn't have any of this problem. Now you're part of the NCAA. You have to take your name off all the paperwork. You have to take all the pictures down. Like amateurism rules, all that stuff was in place. So it was like, it's crazy. People don't realize like how much of like a hold the NCAA had on us athletes prior to this being passed. Like essentially, all they did was just give us the rights back to our name and image. You know what I mean? It's not like the NCAA themselves has done something major for us. They just gave us the rights back to ourselves. That's literally all they've done, which is awesome. I'm excited for it. So
yeah,
it's been good.
I remember when I first got my coaching job, it was kind of the same thing. You have this conversation with the administration. They're like, all right, so, if you've been involved in any fantasy sports, you're done. Like, it's just this hard stop. So kind of the flip side of that, maybe the good thing, walk us through what happened when the legislation changed. Like, did you have a similar conversation then where it was like, hey, you can get this started back up again. You can be more involved. What was that process like?
Actually, no, there was none of that. They did some education wise, like just about NIL as a whole and different opportunities that you could take part in. But as far as like a direct conversation, there wasn't really any like direct conversation about, hey, you can get started back on your clothing brand. It was just kind of, I knew this was something that I wanted to continue doing. And, I felt like the last 3 years prior to that, I really didn't get to dive into it all the way. I felt like it was failing, but it was failing because I was kind of pigeonholed, and I didn't really give it a full swing on like building this brand or what I want it to be. Because what I envision this to be is something that I think can last way longer than me, and this is something that it will become like another Nike or a Adidas, and that's my vision for this, to be something big like that, and to be more than just a clothing brand, but also be like a community of people that have a similar mindset and kind of bring people up, So that's the vision that I have for this long term, but just starts with the clothing, and getting the message out there.
Tailon, I just got to say, man, you're an impressive dude. You are the first athlete, and we have over 500 athletes that are with us, a lot more lined up in the queue. And I think you're the first one that ever on their own. We've had others that have had agents where we've had meetings. You're the first athlete on their own that said, hey, I want to set up a meeting where I meet the entire NIL team. And I just thought that was super impressive and very mature and just it showed how important this was to you. And within 5 minutes of speaking to you, my mind was already racing. I was like, we got to get Tailon on the podcast because he's awesome. First of all, he's got great ideas, but somebody who's really got his ducks in a row. And you just have that entrepreneurial mindset. What age or how early on did you realize, hey, I'm kind of a hustler. Like I like being an entrepreneur. I like finding ways to make money. Push my brand. What's your earliest inclination of like realizing you had that a little bit of that in you?
I was probably say around, this is gonna sound crazy, but around the age of like 4, because my parents always were like kind of dabbling in it, and they would start like I remember my mom used to sell Senate rocks, and then she was always been good with crafting, so now she has a business called the Crafting Closet. But this is something that went way back to when I was like a kid. I remember when she was sew dresses for people and stuff. So kind of always seeing them dabble in it. They didn't really dive all the way into it until I was older. But like throughout school, I always had a hard time in school. Like I did well in school, but I always had a hard time with the school system because I was such a free thinker and I was so creative. And I felt like the school system kind of pigeonholed me and told me like, no, this is not what you're supposed to do. Like you're supposed to be like cookie cutter like everybody else. And that just wasn't me. So it was always something in me that was like, I want to own, I want to be my own boss and create opportunities for other people to be able to build the life they want, and I want to be a person that can create opportunity. I don't want to be a person that just takes advantage of opportunities, So I think I have to say 4 is when it started, and it was really like something that just throughout my life kind of grew, watching my parents and kind of getting connected to other people that were entrepreneurs and, just being able to travel. And as I studied people, and now that I have my own daughter, being somebody that can have control over their time is something I've always wanted. And so entrepreneurship is the best way to do that. If you build a successful business and you take that and build more businesses from that, then you'll be able to kind of take control of your time, so that's the goal, to be able to spend as much time with my kids as possible.
That's awesome, man. I love that. How old is your kid?
She's almost 2. She'll be 2 October 9th.
I love it. Daddy's biggest fan, right?
Yes. That's my princess right there.
That's awesome. So even the way that we got connected is actually, I think, pretty interesting. And you came on our radar actually not through the traditional athletic channels. I'll let you kind of tell the story, but how did you get connected to Campus Inc.?
Yeah, so it was actually really cool. So it was through my athletic department initially. I was trying to figure out, I was running a summer camp this summer for my nonprofit. And it's called the Orange and Blue Kids Camp, and it was amazing. First off, we had about 255 kids out there. And that was a growth of about almost 100 kids, or over 100 kids from the previous year. So it was awesome. But I was planning for it and trying to figure out where I was going to get shirts from. And the first year, I actually produced all 100. Me and my cousin actually produced all 105 shirts ourselves. So we had to press at home, cut, weed and everything. Both of us were exhausted up to like 4 a.m. 2 days in a row trying to get these shirts done. And so this year I was like, yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I want to hopefully find someone that can help, whether it's they donate the shirts or, they mitigate costs, whatever, to help provide this. So I was talking to them in the athletic department. They mentioned Campus Inc. And they were like, they're in town. I was like, no, I've seen the lab, but I don't know where the office is. So they sent me the office address. And I actually just pulled up. One day I was over there, so I pulled up. I went in there and met Jen and Lindsay, and they were amazing.
Yeah.
And they were both like, yeah, give us your information. And they mentioned the NIL deal that you guys do, but, I was focused on my nonprofit, so I really wasn't thinking about it, I was like, yeah, like if you guys would be willing to help out with shirts, let me know. So a couple of days later, they reached back out and they were like, yeah, we'll definitely be able to do something. So they produced all 100, I think it was 150 shirts we had. It was amazing. Turned out quality was great. All the kids loved them. So, we sold the shirts at the camp and had an amazing turnout, raised more money, and to be able to do the backpack drive. So that was how the initial connection started. And I guess, through that is where you guys heard from me.
Yeah, I remember, I'll never forget seeing you posted something on your Instagram. It was like a selfie of you in your truck, and you had like all these Campus Inc. boxes piled up behind you.
Yeah.
And you were like, camp shirts unlock, whatever you said. And I remember Sean turned to me like, why is this guy? This is amazing. This guy's incredible. He's running camps. He's using Campus Inc. already. Like, we got to get this guy in the NIL store. So, yeah, man, it was awesome and great to see. And I think just an incredible lesson, hearing your story and not just hearing you talk about it, but watching you be about it is such an incredible lesson and example to, you're a guy who's been in the program for a little bit, kind of navigated, pre-NIL, now in the NIL opportunities, really just going out there and not trying to say, hey, I'm an athlete, I'm playing this sport, bring me deals, but recognizing, look, man, if I want to be good at my sport, I got to work at it. Right. And if I want to take advantage of these opportunities in NIL, I got to work at it, but not just for you. You're doing it while you're giving back to kids and community and trying to build something sustainable. I think that's such an incredible example and just way to go about this new era.
I really appreciate that. And it's true. I think it's something that I wish a lot more athletes would understand. I kind of understood it even before I got to college, that I'm not going to be able to play sports forever, so try to capitalize on this opportunity. And even now, like if people ask me why I play football, obviously, I love the game and I want to go play professional ball. But I play football to get the platform that I can use to catapult the rest of my life. This is really a opportunity to one, have fun, but also, make connections and get resources to be able to do things differently in my life, than other people might be able to do. I get an opportunity to do that. So trying to utilize that while I have the platform is, I think, the key. And I think that's a key that a lot of athletes should start doing, is to really capitalize on your platform now, and not in a way that is genuine to you. Like not everybody wants to start a nonprofit, and I understand that, but what is genuine? What is something that you care about? And what is something that you want to work towards building for your future? Like start now. So I hope other athletes, if they listen to this, that's the message they get from me, is just capitalize on your platform now and be genuine to who you are.
That's a really good message for athletes. And I'm just thinking in my head, and I'm in awe. You're in school full time. You're a football player. You have your own brand / business, and you have a 2-year-old daughter on top of everything else you probably have going on. Talk to me about balance. How the heck do you balance all of that? You have so much going on.
It's definitely hard. So I don't want people to think this not, it's easy. It's definitely hard. But what I always remember is why I do it. The platform that I have now, I remember when I used to pray for this, like used to literally ask God, like, God, please, like, I just want a platform where I can help change people's lives and create opportunities for other people, and I was like, if you help me get there, like, I promise you, I'll do everything in my power to make that thing happen, the best of my ability. And I have that opportunity now. So, when I get tired and I'm frustrated at times, I remember that. I just think back to that. Like I even wrote myself a letter that I read every day, just to remind myself about the sacrifices people made for me to get to where I'm at, and the thing that I prayed for, that I used to pray to be in the position I'm in now. And I know I'm still going to continue to elevate, but in that process, always remembering that it's bigger than myself. This isn't just for me. And through the process of blessing other people, I'll be blessed. So, just continuing to remember that is what kind of allows me to stay grounded and stay balanced and continue to push through. But it's definitely long nights and early mornings for sure.
I'm over here taking notes. This is great, man. Like we were talking on the phone a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned I have a almost 9-month-old at home. So I'm taking fatherhood notes. Former athlete, but the dad bod has definitely started to set in for me. You've managed to avoid that, so I'm taking those notes. Like you got it on lock, man. I love it.
Appreciate it. I'm also still currently playing. When I'm playing,
details.
Yeah. So don't feel too bad.
That does help a lot.
That's awesome.
How has your experience been at Illinois so far?
It's been good. Like honestly, me starting the nonprofit wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me being here. One, because of the community, but also just the people within student athlete development here are amazing. Liz Reyes, Madison Dunker, Stefan Fook, like they've all done so much to help me get started. They're actually like when I say the reason I was able to put the camp on the first year, like there's people in the athletic department that were like, nah, like he's not going to be able to do this. And they fought hard. And Mark Torsani, he's part of the football team. He's like Coach B's right-hand guy. There's so many people here that have fought hard for me to be able to do the things that I've been doing, and they've also put me in positions and connected with me, people that help me continue to grow, not only my platform, but also my business, so it's been amazing, honestly. I wish I would have. The only regret I have is that I didn't take advantage of these opportunities earlier, but I also understand God has everything happen for a reason, and I think COVID blessed me because I was able to really take time to do a lot of self-reflection and kind of slow my life down, because I promise if y'all would have talked to me prior to 2019, this isn't the person you would have been talking to. Would have been a completely different person. I've always been mature, but it would have been a different level of maturity. It wouldn't have been where I'm at now. And that COVID kind of gave me time to reflect and kind of not necessarily isolate, but do a lot of self-assessing, and it was a lot of development that I needed, and I started reading more. That was something I picked up on. I'm reading more, listening to podcasts, listening to the audio books, listening to different people that I deemed great speak, and it was really what helped me kind of grow. So, Illinois is something that's going to always be home for me. I'm going to build my nonprofit base here in Champaign, Illinois, and Champaign-Urbana. And as I branch out and go do more things in other places, I'll always still have this base here because of what this community and university has given to me. So hopefully I'll be able to maintain this relationship with them as well.
Man, I'll tell you what, for anybody else that happens to be taking class or taking notes in today's class besides me, this is great, man. Like just thinking about, taking the opportunities that are in front of you to not just, work hard, but also to take a step back and self-reflect, define what your priorities are, define what your goal and your mission is and how you want to go about accomplishing in that. But then also, how you want to leverage those goals to help others is really incredible. It's really inspiring. It's great to hear. We've obviously had conversations with a few other people at University of Illinois. From our understanding, they're doing a great job. It's great to hear, another example of that, of just good people trying to take advantage of this new era of collegiate sports and leverage it for good, which is fantastic. So yeah, it's really exciting. What can we expect from you this year? What's on the horizon? What's coming down the pipeline for Tailon?
Definitely going to be a drop from Rise coming soon. I actually got to meet with my videographer Thursday, so we're going to finish putting together this promo ad. I'm not going to tell everybody what it's about yet, but definitely be on the lookout for that. It's going to be amazing. I'll be able to really, I think people will get a better understanding of what the brand stands for and who's the brand's for. So I'm definitely excited for that.
That's awesome, man. Well, we can't wait. Yeah, we're really excited to watch your continued success both on and off the field. Really grateful for the time today. Once again, Tailon Leitzsey, thank you so much for being with us, for having the conversation. This is Adam Cook signing off for Sean Ellenby. Is another episode of the NIL Store. Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.